What's up, everyone? Season Ticket coming at you live this afternoon before we get buried under 2 feet of snow. Dan Hula here along with my good friend Scott Schroff.
Hello.
A lot happening in the baseball world, most notably Justin Upton being signed to the Detroit Tigers for a 6-year, $132 million deal.
Massive deal.
Oh yeah, that's pretty big. Big numbers, actually.
Yeah, Tigers, second person this year that they've given $100 million to. Other one being Jordan Zimmerman. So they got a big bat, got a big pitcher. Maybe they can put up a big year. That's what I'm assuming they're trying to do.
Man, I think that's the point of the offseason, quite frankly. You're trying to build a big team. Lots of money being thrown around in Detroit, I'd say. Maybe they're the only group throwing around big money in Detroit. No offense, but...
Yeah, 27 home runs for Justin Upton last year, 81 RBIs, solid season. The RBI total is a little bit low, but that's because, the Padres just weren't good last season.
Yeah, it happens.
250 average, so that's probably literally average, and 19 stolen bases, which is that's a lot for a guy that you don't think of much as a speedster.
Yeah, he's a good hitter. See, that's what's the big thing, is that not only is he a good hitter, he can steal bases. I think that's very valuable.
Yeah, 19 is surely a lot. And, as he gets older, he's probably going to go down a little bit in that respect, but he should still be able to hit. But the key thing about this deal is he has an opt-out after 2 years. And he's 28 right now. So he has an opt-out when he's 30. And he can get another 6-year, 7-year deal then, too. This contract, this season is the off-season. Well, this off-season is the off-season of opt-outs. The opt-out clauses are big nowadays. This off-season really shown that. I'm not sure if that's the best thing. We'll see how that goes years to come, really. But, yeah.
Honestly, obviously it's good for the players. It gives them a lot of options, especially if they get offered bigger deals. But I feel like that's rougher on the teams now, I would say, because now they have to give them the option. We're going to pay you a lot of money, and you have the option to just split.
Yeah, exactly. But then it could also be good because then the player has a down year, and then, he doesn't opt out, keeps the money that he has been getting. So it's really all on the player, and nothing good about this is good for the team.
Yeah.
But except for, the production. But it pays to be in baseball. That's all. If you have kids, if you're a kid, just pick up a baseball, start throwing it, especially if you're a lefty.
That didn't work out, because if that meant anything, I wouldn't have gotten cut from high school baseball. As I expose my bitterness here live on the air. Well, moving around in the baseball world, the Mets signed, I believe, what was the first name?
Antonio Bastardo.
Antonio Bastardo, the left-handed pitcher, signed for 2 years, $12 million with the Pirates last year. He pitched 57 innings with a 2.98 ERA. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a very reliable reliever. It gives the Mets a very solid bullpen now, because there were some shaky things up in there because they lost Clippard, and even Clippard was shaky towards the end of last postseason.
I noticed. I think the Mets could really, it's not a priority as much as bats would be, but I think they could really beef up their bullpen, especially after what was seen in the postseason.
Yeah, of course, and that's why I think Bastardo's a really good ad. They didn't have a lot of left-handed pitchers, and you got 2 guys coming back off of injury, Blevins and Edgin. So hopefully Bastardo gives them that reliable guy. He can get righties out too, but he's mainly good against lefties. He had a very good second half last year against lefties and overall. So I think he gives them a very reliable option out of the bullpen the whole season, as long as he stays healthy.
Another baseball signing this week. Steve Pearce signed with the Tampa Bay Rays to a 1-year, non-specified amount. Not a big name, I would say. I haven't heard a lot from him.
Yeah, he had a really good year in 2014, put up a 293 average. But in reality, last year he spiked down a lot, not really big production, as they were expecting from him. But he had an alright season. His strikeouts went up, his walks went down. It's not the way you really want to see it.
Oh, no.
But the Rays like him because the Rays love not spending money, and they love players that can play multiple positions, which he can. He can play first base, second base, left, right field. So that's good for them. And Pierce is from the Tampa Bay area. Grew up about an hour away from there.
You never know. Maybe being a little closer to the hometown, maybe gets a little bit of more motivation. Maybe he could put up a better season.
Yeah, I still hold the fact that the Rays need to move out of Tampa because that stadium's garbage and the team is I don't know. I think they really need to get out of there. Maybe put another team in Canada, but get the Expos back in town. But I don't know. As of right now, this is good for the Rays.
I'm thinking we should just go totally out there, London baseball. Let's do it.
I don't know. Why not at this point?
You never know. You never know. Well, moving around in the baseball world, reportedly no charges have been filed against Aroldis Chapman after a supposed domestic dispute with his girlfriend in which he hit and choked her in public.
Yeah, that's still up for debate. No one knows if that actually happened. That's what his girlfriend claimed.
That's supposedly.
Yeah.
But they said, according to the MLB, a suspension is still unlikely, being it's still very early in the season.
Well, yeah, they could give him a suspension, and but a lot of these players, like in different sports, get suspensions when it's obvious that they did do it. Now, with Chapman, it's not obvious that he did, but MLB is going to do as much investigating as they can. But yeah. I think if the police aren't really going to get involved, and that's on their diligence, that's not on, like, the people saying they don't want it, like his girlfriend or him.
Yeah, obviously she would have to file charges. It's up to her to necessarily file charges. So
if the police isn't really going to get into it, I don't see the MLB getting into it, which is a good thing for the Yankees.
But I expected this, as I really stutter really badly. I expected, especially after that whole debacle with the NFL a year or two ago with the domestic disputes, I feel like every sports league is, as soon as something like this comes up, they're going to beat it to death as far as investigating goes to make sure that, in their idea, no pun intended.
Yeah, it's not a funny subject. I mean, it could be. No one really knows what happened in this situation particularly. But I don't know. It's Chapman. Clearly, if he did do something, he should be punished for it. And he should have been police punished for it. But if something does happen in MLB wise, it's completely on Manfred and his team to try to figure that one out.
But I'm totally not shocked to hear that the MLB is still investigating.
Oh yeah. They're going to do that until they really find that there was nothing there completely. Yeah, that's really it.
There's lots of talk going around the baseball world. Right now, with the fate of Cespedes, still a free agent as of this show. He's heard offers from the Baltimore Orioles, and they're expecting for was an offer made by the Nationals? I don't know if an official offer has been made. Yes,
an offer has been made. No one knows the exact numbers. It's somewhere around 5 years, about 90 to 100 million, maybe a little bit more than 100 million.
Which was similar to what Baltimore gave him. And it's becoming pretty apparent that that's what Cespedes is looking for.
Cespedes, according to himself, wants, or his team or whatever, wants a deal bigger than Justin Upton, which was a 6-year, $132 million deal. And being that Cespedes is older, I don't think he's going to get the years. He might have opt-out. He might even get an opt-out after the first year if a team gets that desperate, i.e. the Nationals. I don't know. There's got to be something.
I mean, quite honestly, though, I feel like that's, they keep saying he's not going to get the years, but that's what he's looking for. If you're 30 years old, you want to be in some long contract where if your ability starts to drop as you get older, it's not like, oh my God, I'm a free agent next year. People are going to notice this.
Yeah, but the whole thing with him and the Nationals is, where is he going to play? All right, they have 2 center fielders. They have Ben Revere and Michael Taylor. They have Bryce Harper, which is like... Last year was the best player in the league.
Yeah, probably the only decent player still on the National Team last year, especially towards the end.
Yeah, and then in right or left, is Jason Worth, who's been not so good these past 2 years, very injury prone. But they would have to move one of those guys because Worth is going to get a lot of money the next 2 years.
Yeah,
and Harper, they're not doing anything.
They're not getting moved.
Well, no, they're going to try to move Worth, but they're going to have to pay that. They're going to have to pay a team to take him.
Yeah,
they're not just going to. They're going to say, "Here, take him. Give us no return, and we'll pay most of his contract." So I think, in my opinion, if they do get the Cespedes deal done, they're going to have to move Worth, or just to put him on the bench would not be very kind to him. But the Nationals aren't the best at making those kind of moves, as we saw last year with the Papelbon and Drew Storen, incident. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch, see if they do get him. A lot of people say that it's likely, but you know how the baseball world is. A lot of things are likely. A lot of things are supposed to happen.
In the summer, it was a deadlock that Wilmer Flores was going to Houston, but
the Brewers,
excuse me. But we were lied to. We were sorely lied to. But speaking of the Mets, Are the Nationals just looking to steal everything from them?
Well, actually, Ken Rosenthal just tweeted out, we got this live connection, that the Nationals offered Cespedes for 5 years, which we just stated, and the Mets are unwilling to go beyond 3 years because they're cheap.
But I feel like...
and the dollars are not known for either one.
But I feel like... I was happy the Mets finally made a 3-year offer because
I'm not sure if they made a legitimate offer, but they told him about 3 years, and he might have just been like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. But they would have made him an offer if that is what he was interested in.
If only, I feel like because they gave him a 1-year offer. I know it would work out for them if they got him to be a free agent next year, but I feel like just giving him a 1-year offer when they knew he was looking for a longer contract, it's kind of insulting. I'm not saying that, he should spite them or anything, but I feel like they should have maybe a 3-year, if they offered him 3 years out of the gate, maybe he would have been willing to sign with them again.
The Mets obviously need this hitter in their lineup. I mean, they don't need him, but it would help them out a lot. It would make them easily the front runners to win the whole thing over again.
Because,
That's in my opinion, at least.
You got to consider their outfield, because right now they have Michael Conforto, who put up terrific numbers as a rookie.
Very, very good. But he's still young, so you don't know what you're going to get out of him.
Curtis Granderson in right field.
I
always
love Curtis
a solid
Granderson,
player.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day. I honestly think Curtis Granderson was one of the smartest moves the Mets have made in the last few years, because he's been a solid player for them. And good fielder.
It started out shaky when they first got him. But
kind of quiet, but he's gotten the job done.
Yeah, he's really come on, especially last year. Very good year.
Definitely. So if we were to have Cespedes in center, Juan Garrison have such a hot year. He had come up pretty well, and we were thinking, wow, this guy's really good. Suddenly, it's kind of petering out. So to have Cespedes would really be reassuring to Mets.
Of course.
Fans.
The Mets got Diaza, who a lot of Mets fans are not happy with, and I like Diaza, but I don't want him playing a lot of games. I want him to be a backup outfielder. But as it stands right now, he's going to play every day against right-handed pitchers, which. I mean, I don't know if that's what we want when we got a guy named Cespedes just sitting out there. Just pay that man some money. I know it's
I will just send him the blank check. Whatever the hell you want, take it. We want to win again.
Yeah, and I'm not saying we can't win without him, but just imagine if the Nationals were to get him.
Yeah,
wow.
But I feel like that if the Mets don't lock him down, and we get into the season again, I feel like he may take another. Lucky break, like getting Cespedes was for us last year. It would take something like that again to get them to contend.
Yeah, now, I do not rule the Mets out, at the deadline, what they're going to do. But do we have to we have to ride on the deadline every year? I don't know what that is.
You got to understand, the deadline is months and a lot of games away.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen between now and then. The Mets could be the best team on the planet, and they could be the worst team.
People were like, well, they turned around after the deadline, but they didn't have a bad start in April. So if they get off to a terrible start, and they're 10 games behind, all the winning in the world isn't really going to help them unless they do the Oakland A's and go on a 20-game win streak.
Yeah, the whole thing with the Mets, I think, is that their pitching is going to keep them in every single game, and I think that they have enough offense to win them a lot of games. I think they have a very good lineup right now. I think, not a very good lineup, but they have a very good team right now. But they don't have a great team, which is probably what they need. Actually, one other thing that's breaking news on here.
Whoa, breaking news here on Season Ticket.
The White Sox just re-signed relief pitcher Matt Albers to a 1-year deal with a club option for the 2017 season, the following season. He's going to earn $2 million this season, and if the club wants to pick him up next year, he can get $3 million. So, this just happened. I don't know a lot of numbers on him, but he's a very reliable reliever. I remember the Mets showing interest in him earlier in the offseason. But, hey, I don't know. It could be good for the White Sox. The White Sox need a lot of help. They got some interesting players over there now.
Lots of movement in the baseball world this week, I would say.
This is a baseball week.
I get this offseason's really happening.
And now, finally.
But moving away from baseball, we're talking a little hockey here. As of last night, the Devils gained a playoff spot after forcing Montreal out, which was surprising. They had a 9-0 start, and Montreal is, like the last few years, they've performed very, very well.
Oh yeah, they're a very good team, and after starting out 9-0, a lot of people thought, wow, these teams are easy. This is easily a playoff team. They were thinking first seed, all this and that.
For Montreal, because they've been in the playoffs for a number of years, and they are playoff rivals as far as the Rangers go. So seeing them, they've always been a very good team. PK Subban is probably one of the best hockey players in the game right now, I could say with a solid amount of confidence. So to see the Devils kick them out like that is surprising to see, because the Devils didn't have such a hot start.
Yeah, the Devils are kind of they're playing pretty average, right? I mean, they're playing average all over this season, but as of right now, they're playing some good hockey. They're getting the job done, and they have another game tonight against the Senators, 7 p.m.
Yeah,
if the Senators win that game though, they could take the Devils spot because they're the team that's in between the Habs and the Devils in the wild card standings right now.
Yeah.
So that's
it's a very neck and neck race for those wild card spots. In the Eastern Conference, that's been the case in a number of the divisions, so it's not surprising.
Yeah, very, very close over there. Except for the Capitals, they're kind of just like up there. And everybody's below.
A lot of Capitals, it's like the Patriots or the Yankees. They're 20 games ahead of everybody, and everybody else is fighting for a back
It doesn't
spot.
matter anymore.
Well, speaking of the Patriots, we now move on to our big spot of the show today, when Scott erroneously predicts the two division games.
Yes, let's see what we got here. I'll go with the AFC game first. The Patriots versus the Broncos. I think this is the most interesting game because I have no idea what to expect from it. I know that the Patriots will be good. They're always good. I can know what to expect from them, but I have no idea what to expect from the Broncos. They played badly last week against the Steelers, who don't have a great defense.
Honestly, but I would say they turned on. I mean,
they
turned on the gas.
They pulled it out in the end, but that's against the Steelers team that was depleted. Can they do that?
Valid point.
Can they do that against the Patriots? Like a guy fumbled on the Steelers. Are the Patriots going to do that? I don't think so. And while I'm reluctant to ever pick the Patriots in anything,
you're picking the Patriots.
I am going to pick the Patriots.
You know what?
In this
and
one.
It hurts my heart because I am so fucking sick of seeing the Patriots in the playoffs. Like, that's not me hating on them. I don't doubt their success, but for the love of God, somebody else in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting so sick of looking at them.
Yeah, I saw a stat that like the last 13 Super Bowls
yeah, exactly.
All lasting 13 Super Bowls were either Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, or Tom Brady. There was only one that wasn't, and that was Joe Flacco. So,
and I'll be honest, and looking at it, also, you have, in the last, 10 years, the Patriots have won their division almost every year. The only time they lost, they won the wild card.
And that was without Tom Brady.
Like that, if you're a fan, you're living the high life. You're the 1990 Yankees. You're doing good. You don't have to care. But for the rest of us, it's like, holy crap. That's why I was so happy this year with Arizona, with Carolina, with Denver, just seeing other people in this.
Well, yeah, and of course other teams, like Denver has been good the past couple of years. Now it's different. Yeah, they're still good. They're still going to be the home team in this game, so there's still some credit to that. They still have a great defense. So Denver easily could pull this off. I'm not saying they can't, but I don't see the Patriots losing this one against a Peyton Manning that just doesn't look like himself, and a running game that was stopped by the Steelers last week, at least somewhat. And I don't know.
I think it's all those HGH withdrawals. I must
say. That's what
it
is for Peyton Manning. I think so.
But I will leave that with crazier things have happened in the playoffs.
Yeah.
As a Giants fan, both years the Patriots were predicted to roll right over us, and obviously that did not happen.
Clearly.
Moving on into the other conference, we have Carolina and Arizona. So enlighten us.
Well, to be frank, the Panthers are probably the better team here. Both teams. Now, I'm not going to say they're similar because the quarterbacks are completely different. Carson Palmer does not leave the pocket. Like, the pocket is his home. And Cam Newton is a very good pocket passer. They've made him into one this year. But he can move out of the pocket. He can run the ball. He's a very good player. He's probably one of the most athletic players in all of sports right now. So the way that the Panthers almost choked last week was bad. But the way they started out that game, I can see them rolling over the Cardinals. Because the Packers gave them a run for the money, and the Packers are depleted. I don't know. It's just Carson Palmer towards the end of that Arizona game did not look good, and I think the Panthers and honestly, Josh Norman can capitalize on that.
That's a valid point because while people, although Arizona won, the only reason they won was because they had that weird play that allowed Fitzgerald to run for 82 yards.
Yeah, Fitzgerald saved their game. He saved their game.
So it wasn't like they dominated going into overtime. They went right down the field. They got a freak play that gained them pretty much the entire field.
Yeah, that game was tight all the way through, and then Aaron Rodgers pulled some magic. I feel bad for Green Bay because it's one of those things. If they had been in the Super Bowl, that'd be remembered forever. It probably still will be, but not so much as this season. That whole season for them, but yeah, the Cardinals. I think the Panthers are going to win. I think it'll also be a close game. Both of these should be close games, but I wouldn't be surprised if the blowouts either. Anything can happen. But yeah, I got the Panthers winning this one. So I got a Patriots-Panthers Super Bowl. We'll see how that works out.
We'll call you on that later. Well, that wraps it for us in sports today. So it was good spending another afternoon with you guys. If you live up in the Northeast, we hope you guys stay safe this weekend. It's supposed to be a bad one. Stay inside, just chill, man. Netflix and chill. But until then, we'll talk to you guys on Monday. We'll see who's going to the Super Bowl. But until then, see you in the cheap seats.